when you ask somebody how they're doing, actually tap in with them. It's not just about that conversation, because at some point, you're not gonna be there to keep them from making that decision or to keep them from dealing with those demons and those thoughts that put them in that place.
What could that have been if you weren't putting all those distractions, as we call them, in your mind?
Excellent basketball player who had a cocaine addiction, played as long as he did. I see it as a tragedy. I see it as like a cautionary tale, because think of what you could have been.
This was the fastest group of 40-yard dashes in the history of the combine. Everybody was blazing.
They don't know the root of what they're watching. They don't know how far he's come. They also aren't acknowledging all of you mother effers wish you were standing at the podium, about to be a first 2-round pick.
Let the sharks come, and then he sits back and waits to monetize. He might be making a documentary right now.
You want to be in lockstep with him because you don't know when it's going to bite you. Is that fair or foul?
That's right.
People have a different opinion of that.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision I can trust. Trust, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
I feel like I haven't seen y'all in so long. That might have been the longest pivot break we've ever had.
I missed y'all boys, man.
Man, we had a good time.
I ran into Channing fishing alongside the creek.
You was fishing too?
No, I was going to run. I look over to my right and Channing was there fishing. I pulled over, hopped out. 2 minutes later, he had a fish this big on the line.
Well, first off, Fred got the front part wrong. What kind of car is that you had?
It's a Benz.
He doing donuts in a 4-way stop to get back to me. And I say, Fred, ain't that serious, Fred? He came back, and then, you know what, God blessed me because I catch fish, but Fred, as soon as Fred came back, we caught like a 3-foot snakehead. And Fred was like, damn, Crowd, that's how you do it? Yeah, that's what we do.
That happens all the time.
That's what we do all the time. But yeah, man, I missed y'all boys.
Man, good to see y'all, man. Welcome to The Pivot. It's a Pivot 3-man weave on Friday. This is Fred Taylor. This is Channing Crowder. My name is Ryan Clark. Thank you, Pivot fam, for pivoting with us. Hard transition. You know, we all haven't got an opportunity to be together since Rondell Moore completed suicide, 25 years old. You know, from my perspective, a ton of life ahead of him. Just in this past few months, since the summer, we've seen Kyron Lacey, we've seen Marshawn Nealand, now Rondell Moore gone. Just for you, Channing, just in hearing the news and sort of putting all of it together, what we are seeing more prevalent among young men in taking their own lives.
I don't know what it is. You brought up Lacey, and I talked about Junebug and Tay, Monte, and Junior Seau. Whenever we talk about this, I go back, and then now it brings up those old emotions. Bro, I don't know. Y'all know I'm the big, like social media guy that's like, who cares? Is that what it is? Is it the exposure? Is it the attention that it gets? Is it the media attention that now we see it? Was it happening in the 80s and 90s? I don't know if it means something, but it's just sad, man. It's sad. He was still doing it. So you always want to say like post-career, they don't know how to adjust and all that stuff. So everybody wants to put something on it. What is it? If somebody could put their finger on that, that would be amazing information. And that's what I want to know. What was it? And obviously it's too late now to talk to him about it. And that's why we always say, what's your three questions?
Are you good? Are you okay? It's the next one. Forget it. Are you good? Are you okay? And do you need anything?
Do you need anything? Like that advice, that's what we need to do because it has to happen before and not after, because now Rondell can't tell us why.
Yeah, I think it's just a reminder that, life is way bigger than football, bigger than money, bigger than fame, because when you're no longer here and you're no longer available to your loved ones, none of that other stuff truly really matters at the end of the day. As athletes, we're taught to be tough. We're taught to hide or mask pain or any things that we're going through. And a lot of times we're afraid to approach people with, what we're going through. And I know some people throw mental health out there and some people say, oh, you're using that for an excuse, but you never know, how bad someone is actually, grieving inside or hurting inside, man. And I think for this particular situation, it's just a reminder that we're all human. Regardless of what we do for a career or a job or for hobbies or whatever it might be, we're all human and we all suffer. We all go through it. We always try and share the message, reach out, talk to people, but that's cliche. It's much harder than you think because that comes with trust. It comes with sacrifice as well. So I think for, everybody that's listening, truly, truly, truly try to have, that one special person in your life that you can go to for anything. But for the sport family, man, it's just a reminder that, we're not too big, for anything. So it sucks.
To me, when I see so many young men die by suicide, I start to think, have we sown into them enough to give them other options? Have we taught the resiliency that you need to persevere? Have we done our jobs in praising and training the player? Have we done our jobs in developing the person, right? And building up the human? Because this didn't feel like an option when I was younger, right? There were no shows like 13 Reasons Why that made it seem that if you took your own life, all the people that hurt you would have to suffer while you were gone and live with that. Because a lot of times the people who have hurt you, they just move on. It's the people who love you and supported you, and then they're now in their quiet moments having to deal with your loss. And as sad as it is, and as much as you want to tell, those guys, talk to someone and reach out to someone. And like Fred said, like you said, when you ask somebody how they're doing, actually tap in with them to see how they're doing. It's not just about that conversation, because at some point, you're not going to be there to keep them from making that decision or to keep them from dealing with those demons and those thoughts that put them in that place. And all I can say is this: Nashel, my friend who I talk about and we've talked about whenever these things happen, I saw his mom for the first time in over a decade. And she walks up to me and she hugs me and she said, "Thank you for saying his name." She said, "I hadn't heard his name said by somebody outside of our family in such a long time." And so if you're Rondell Moore's friend or family or teammate, Marshawn Nealon, Kyron Lacey, just keep saying their name. And don't allow the way that their lives ended to be the story that's told of their lives. Talk about all the things they did that affected you in a positive way.
I just want to add something quickly, man. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, been on the show. I saw him recently. It was a video. It was a video when he was talking about like the pressures that it puts on him. And when he said, he was like, I don't have but 4 or 5 years left. He's talking about his playing career. He's like, I'm gonna go and bless another team. CJ gonna be CJ. But that's the phrase I heard was like, he was like, I ain't got but 4 or 5 years left of playing football, of doing this. What's next after this? And after that, and after that, and after that. Motherfucker, retire at 30 at the latest. You make it at 30, that's amazing. But man, the one thing I would love to tell the young players is that you've done this your whole life, and people don't think about that. You start playing ball at what, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now you're 25, 30. That's your life. That's not your life. That's 20 years of your life. You got 50 left. And that whole transition thing and just not the whole identity thing. I'm not just a ball player. Shut up and dribble and all that stuff. And that was when I was watching CJ, I was like, damn, I got to hit CJ up and talk to him about that, because he was like, I got 4 or 5 years left of this point of your life. That's what you're talking about. Yeah,
but see, I think CJ was different because CJ was talking about moving into streaming, right? He was talking, he feels like the pressures of football and the people pulling at you and like the subjectivity of can you play, will you play, do you work here, are you great for the locker room, that was too much for, right? And those are the pressures that a lot of people within the game face. And my thing is, where's the level of resiliency that gets you to understand that that's a blessing and to handle it, right? And that's the way I see it, but you don't know what these people, individuals are dealing with internally. And so that's why I'm talking about just how do we teach them that there's another option, that there is something on the other side? How do we tell them, hey, if you're feeling this, we are here for you to tell you this is the next step? And the biggest thing I want to add before we move on is that this isn't just a football player problem, right? The suicide rates are rising in every demographic, in the demographic of Black men, the most in this country. So it's not just about playing the sport. It's just the pressures of life, and sometimes they get to be too big for anybody. You know, Frey T, we're in the podcast world, right? I feel like the podcast world has brought on more beef because, and this is my opinion, right? It's because I feel like, one, you're extremely comfortable, but there are also no rules.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like they have this governing body that says you can say this or you can't say that, or this level of coof they expect you to keep because you're on TV. Like, just pictures of Tiny being thrown up, Lil King talking about get your dead mama, you know what I mean? Rashad McCants, Villanueva, all of them going at each other, talking, you know, and it's just wow.
Yeah.
How do you think the new media has sort of embraced beef? It used to be embraced debate. Now I feel like it's embraced the fight.
What do they call it? Cloud chasing? A lot of it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's just a social media thing. You got some people that are reckless and petty and dramatic. Shit, a couple years ago, we was in a little podcast beef, right? We wasn't beefing.
Oh.
People was talking about us.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to pull us down.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in these things. But some people actually have personal issues with each other, and that just kind of goes out to the forefront. And then the blogs pick it up, and now it's entertainment, and everybody's peeking around corners, trying to see what's really going on. But you kind of skimmed over, I think you mentioned King, T.I.'s sons and all. So this is my thought on that, right? Beef and all that other stuff aside. 50 Cent. Just following it and paying attention to how 50 had been moving on social media, in my opinion, I can kind of see why he got shot, right? I mean, I don't know why he got shot.
I don't know what he just said. Don't look at me, I see.
Listen, I don't know why he got shot, but bro, you keep jigging, you keep poking the bear. 50 mess with everybody, and that pettiness can get you popped on. That's just life. That's the reality of it all. They once said, no women, no children. Why bring the man-wife into it? That's off limits, bro. You know, at the very end of the day, that's off limits. If you got something with me, keep it with me. Even if you want to mess with my kids, do that too. But my wife, bro, it is no level of pettiness that any man should display towards another man by bringing their wife into the picture. Now, once you cross that line, then everything's fair game. And for that family to respond the way they responded, I'm cool with it, because I don't like the messiness. I do love the fact that 50's done all these things in his life coming from where he's come from. Business mogul, production, what he's done with his album, Get Rich or Die Trying. I was a fan when he first dropped it. Sounded like he was from the South. I was like gravitated towards it quick. But this, of late, I'm not cool with the that pettiness. So, but I'm cool with how the family responded to defend Tiny, because them people don't mess with nobody.
I'm gonna get back to the podcast stuff. Remind me to get back to it. Thing with 50, watch film on him. You just brought up Get Rich or Die Trying. He's a monetizer.
Yeah.
The Diddy thing, he just came out with the Diddy documentary and had the video. Pay somebody for the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at what he does. He finds a way. I hope, because T.I. is one of my uncles, like Mike Tomlin is one of my uncles as well, and Pastor Troy, and the people that taught me how to be a man. Young Jeezy. I don't know if they're the best uncles, but they are. I'm watching what's going on. I hope he has nothing on T.I. Pick a fight, have a problem, have some in your back pocket, and monetize it. That's what 50 does. 50's going to monetize this
he hasn't
in some
crossed
way.
that line.
Why is he so quiet? Why is he so quiet?
The money said in his track, 50 is profiting, right, off of black people's back. What he did with BMF. And we want to hear those stories, and that's totally fine. But what he did with BMF, the Diddy doc, he jumped on it, because if he didn't, then maybe people of other races probably would have done it. Mm-hmm. So, but you got to also understand the lane that he's he's traveling in. And it always comes back as this man is picking us to do his business.
To monetize.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. If he would have just talked about T.I., if he didn't bring up Tiny, King, the Monty and boys wouldn't have jumped into it. My dad can handle himself. He brought it up for a reason. He brought it up. You know why? Why has he been so quiet since it came out? T.I., you just said all the boys are jumping on him. They making tracks. Who's the boy with the guitar? He killed that thing.
That's because he ain't trying to rap, though.
But he hasn't said a word about, he threw out bait, let the sharks come, and then he sits back and waits to monetize. He might be making a documentary right now.
But the thing, but you said it right. Just watch 50's film. This is his entire life, right? As great as Get Rich or Die Trying was and still is, there was the beef with Murder Inc. and Ja Rule, where to me it changed the trajectory of Ja Rule's career. At the time, we was all stuck. I'm real the way you. I was bumping all that. After a while, I felt like I couldn't sing it no more.
I wanted to go to the Fire Festival.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't even just show up. And so I think for him, this is a continuation of like what his entire life has been. And the thing I would say about him, I would be uncomfortable being his friend.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and however he feels about whatever people say about him, it is what it is. There is a large amount of people that he was once close to that he's no longer close to, and it's public that they have an issue because he made it public, right? He doesn't just ever fall out with people. 50 Cent doesn't get to a point where it's like our relationship is done. We've had what we had. We both respect each other. Let's walk away from it. Right? There's always something else said. There's always something else that's made public or something else that has to be done through the media, social media. And I think that's difficult when you work with a person that's like that. Because on this one hand, he's a genius, right? From creating G Unit to now these media companies to now meetings with Tyler Perry, building his own studio, all of these things. You want to be in lockstep with him from a business standpoint. But it's also, like you said, when we sit with Mike Tyson, like being around a pit bull, because you don't know when it's going to bite you. And so I think like that's the difficulty in who he is as the person, as opposed to who he is as the businessman, because he's a brilliant business mind, you know? But you said you wanted to get back to the beef part.
The beef part, it brings that thing with, it brings people together so easily now that the personalities got to clash.
You said podcasting?
Podcasting brings, it's so fast, it's so right now, and we go viral, they got to speak on it. They say something, they got to speak. So everything's connected and you get them clips. So now you get a McCant who is wild, but we know Gil wild. So they over there arguing. So you just have so many personalities that are one click away from each other, and that's why it's beef. I don't want to say crabs in a bucket, but we've talked about it before, like Wallow and Gilly we cool with. You know, it's a lot of podcast dudes. We cool. Every time we see each other, we chop it up. But it's some dudes that act funny towards us when you see them. But it's the personality of different people that you just don't vibe with, that you're now in the same locker room with. And I think that's why the beef is. And I don't know a lot of them. I don't know McCann. I want to meet him because he's funny as hell. I don't know those dudes that they really are pit bulls like that. Like you said, like Tyson was a pit bull. When I'm in room, we talk about it. When you're in room with a pit bull, you can just feel that energy. I don't know a lot of guys, never talked to them. But it's putting real pit bulls in rooms with fake pit bulls, in rooms with people that's been with lions and knows how to act like a lion but's really a sheep. And that's why I think the podcast stuff is so funny to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I hate the way it's trending. It's made me change the entire way I frame conversations, I frame responses. Like I've always been very aware to not get personal with insults about people, right? But it's also because I understand how I take those things, how I comprehend those things. So to me though, like I hate the whole podcast beef thing because if you got an issue with somebody, have a real issue with them, right? And it's changed the way that I do media. If I'm gonna talk about something you said, which is like a big thing in podcasting, right? It's not necessarily always talking about the actual issue, the experience, or the action of the sport. It's talking about what somebody said about it. And so my thing is now, I'll introduce it that you said something about it, and I'm gonna talk about the thing. Even if it's your take that I disagree with, I'm not gonna disagree during the take about you and who you are and your perspective and where you come from. And I'm for sure not gonna go back and forth with you. Because what I've learned, right, which is probably not a great thing about me, I found people's phone numbers, I've DM'd them, I've asked to meet, I've asked to have conversation, and I realized, oh wait, you just doing this for entertainment. You continue to use my name because you need to use my name. I don't even think about talking about you. People, as a matter of fact, I don't see it. People send it to me. And after learning that, I'm like, oh, wait, this ain't a real thing. And they had something over the summer that I wouldn't get involved with. And then that same person said something about me moving forward in a different situation. And we had a conversation face to face. And they were like, man, you know, like, it's just about entertainment for me, this and this. I was like, I don't do that for entertainment. I'm not finna be anybody's clown. I'm not finna be corny for profit. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing none of that soft shit. I'm not. I'm not finna talk about you, disrespect you, insult you, so these mother effers watch my show. So they think that we got something going on that we don't. That's soft, bruh. And continuously going back and forth, if I got your phone number, that's a whole move to me. Like at some point, if I gotta keep talking about you and I could contact you, I need to contact you. Because clearly, if I gotta keep your name in my mouth, I got a problem. And so to me, that's my big thing. If you talk about me, man, you got it. Wow. Right? If you insult me, man, you got it. Because if I ever say something to you, we got a real problem. And so to me, that's why I love our space, because we just try, I want us to tell stories. I want us to be authentic. I don't want to move in that way.
What percentage of people in this space have that philosophy, like I was talking about the segments? But now we all have to talk about it. And then they want to talk about it, but they don't want to call you. Like you said, no names. I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
But no names. But some people don't, they don't want to have that conversation. They want clicks. What you call it?
Clout chasing.
Clout chasing, rage baiting, whatever. It's people that do that for a purpose to get clicks, to get clout.
I think the beautiful thing is going back now where we're year 4, right? Out the gate, before we did a show, when RC laid it out and said, look, it's gonna always be about the quality of the content. Not the views, but the quality of the content, because that'll eventually continue to grow over time and the views will come. But as long as you keep the main thing, and focus on the guests and just the quality of the content, we'll be fine. And that leaves us out of the messy, dramatic, over-dramatic, clout chasing conversation. Even when you are going viral, Channing, it's not, you're not trying to be messy.
No, I just say my opinion.
Of course.
But almost to RC's point, well, we have different opinions, but also RC, like, when I say my opinion, I said what I said. People think they're gonna talk me off of different things.
That's what I said, but you're not attacking.
What I said.
Yeah.
I don't attack nobody. We're cool, and another thing, people always gotta choose a side. Oh, well, he argued with him. You boys with both of them, ain't you? Yeah. They disagree on something. Like, why does it always have to go to a point of, oh, well, you gotta see. No, we don't have to figure out a goddamn thing. That's my homeboy from back in the day. That's my homeboy from 10 years ago. No, they disagree. Y'all disagree on things that I know about it. Me and you, us three disagree. You don't have to pick a side between me and Fred's argument.
Nope.
Man, y'all got it, bro. Y'all, hey, we out on the grass on the eat. It is what it is.
It all stems from social media, Like I look back at the combine from the weekend, and I've communicated with Casey Concepcion, right? He had a speech impediment growing up. He gets on the microphone, and social media attacks him because of the way he speaks, because of the way he's presenting himself. They don't know the root of what they're watching. They don't know how far he's come, right? They also aren't acknowledging all of you mother effers wish you were standing at the podium at the combine, about to be a first 2-round pick with people asking you questions about your career. All of you wish you had that moment. And for a kid who had to overcome something, to be in that moment and to stand there and to answer all those questions and to present the way he did, he showed more than most people who are talking about him on social media will ever show in their entire life. But it even goes back to the earlier conversation that we're having, though. Like, it is the negativity that sells. It's the negativity that drives people. It's the negativity that gives people engagement, because mother effers are just miserable, right? And here this man is living his dream, and you got something to say about that. And to me, that's where TV is going. But there were so many like positive things that came out of the combine. What is something, Freddie T, that you think stood out to you as we head into now free agency than the draft?
Man, they did a top 10 on the 40-yard dash. Bro, these guys, what was it, 4.26 was the fastest?
But they were all rolling.
They were all rolling, 4.26, 4.27, 4.27, 4.28, 4.31. Just the way that, I believe the science of the athlete, you know what I'm saying? Just teaching them how to run, preparation for the combine so they can put up those type numbers. I want to say this was the fastest group of 40-yard dashes in the history of the combine. I mean, everybody was blazing in. Again, when we were playing, we said we would hear that they say players are getting bigger, stronger, faster. And we thought, can't continue to get bigger, stronger, faster. But look around. These guys are bigger, stronger, and they're definitely as faster or faster. So just the athleticism of the players, this group that's coming in, should be an interesting draft class. So I'll be interested to see what happens in May in Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
It's in Pittsburgh, so I'm looking forward to that.
The science of the body, for sure, is something that untapped. Aristotle said, you don't know what the body can do until the body does it. That's quoted
Aristotle said that?
Did he say it? Aristotle, I believe.
Okay.
But that was the thing. These guys will get back. But it was the fastest 40s of all time. That was overshadowed by Makai Lemon and your boy
Casey Concepcion.
That's overshadowed by that. The negativity of it is stupid. My thing with Makai Lemon, he's a monster receiver.
Very good player.
Concepcion, first, second rounder. They're not media members. RC, you were one of the only people that had communication degrees coming out. You would have killed the combine, but they ain't invite you. You would have destroyed interviews.
Great media.
But they said, nah, he can't come over here.
We catch that pro day.
But that gets to me when people talk about that. Like, I just go back, it makes me think about Ricky Williams. Where everybody, if you think about Ricky's career, like some of these young kids, they just see him doing the helmet interview. Did you see his seasons with the Saints and the Dolphins?
Yeah.
But the negativity comes up. He has social anxiety. It's open now. He knows it. My boy, Ronnie Brown. Ronnie Brown's not a big talker. He's a nice thrower. He's not a big talker. They don't think about that. Why do you cross over somebody's personality or their traits or their deficiencies, having a speech impediment? Yep. What does that have to do with covering, tackling, blocking?
Catching the football.
Honestly, what does it have to do? A quarterback has to communicate. It might be a problem in the huddle if he doesn't speak clearly. Other positions? Who gives a damn? That boy's a monster. Let him go play. But not even talking about the NFL's, not comparing it to social media, but the combine isn't trying to see what you do good. It's trying to see what you do bad.
Yep.
It's trying to find a knock against you. We have him graded first round. Oh, look at his 3-cone. Look at his vertical. Look at his long, broad jump. That's what the combine's for. The combine takes more guys stock down than it does up.
But the combine is so scouts don't have to do their job, right? Because the job is to watch the film. The job is to see what sort of player he is, what it looked like on Saturday in college, and how that translates to NFL game day. But what a scout wants is what Jeremiah Love did. Jeremiah Love comes into this, you're the number one running back. We know that. But when you go 4.36 at 2.14, now it says, wait, we got to move him up. Because that's Jahmyr Gibbs' speed, but 14 pounds heavier. Now I can go place the tape on the GM's desk and say, this the tape, this the numbers, 9.1 yards per carry, when facing light boxes, but he also ran 4.36. He's also 2.14. Look at his drills catching the football. Now I don't have to do my job as hard. And then the other guy that you on the fence about, when he comes out and runs 4.6 when you thought he was a 4.4 guy, now you take him off your first round board completely and you say, I would love to draft him, and the film says he might be a first rounder, but I can't do it at 4.6. Like, that's what the combine is for, and those numbers are for. It's to make my job easier, because the job is watching the film, right? Fred made their job easy. The film said top 10, and then he ran 4.2. Hell, it's easy for me.
Get the big boy.
Get him. And like, that to me is the thing that the combine does.
I got one question for you, because I'm in Miami, everybody's talking about Carson Beck. So I looked at the number. Carson Beck has 1,390 attempts. He's completed 990-something passes. Why does he need to throw at the combine? You can't watch the film of 1,390 passes to see if he can throw it out or a post or a flag or a tunnel screen. What is he trying to prove at the combine when he done thrown damn near 1,400 passes?
So I'm gonna say this about the combine and the skill drills, whether it's throwing, receiving, running backs. It's the only time in your entire evaluation process where I get to see Fred Taylor stand next to Jeremiah Love. And I get to see Fred Taylor run through a drill, and now I get to see Jeremiah Love run through it right after.
Right.
That's the part that's the draw for me, because I'm not, if I'm a scout, right, general manager Ryan Clark, I don't care as much about the numbers as much as I care about how tall you walk when you standing next to the dude that's supposed to be drafted in front of you. Yep. How much are you watching him and trying to compete with him when it's his turn to go, and you watch him and now when I get up, I want to be better than that? How much are you paying attention to their times? I want to see that competitive edge in the most competitive situation you've been in that form. The big difference too though, Freddie T, and you're talking about the numbers, is when I ran the 40 for the first time, it was the first time I truly ran the 40 to be tested. Mm-hmm. These dudes go to Under Armour camps and Nike camps and Adidas camps. They have, every time we get to a combine, they show their senior year numbers in high school at some camp, and they show their numbers today, right? Because they are getting opportunities to do it. So I expect numbers to rise. For me, I want to see, like, in that big moment, can you compete with those dudes around you who are great as well?
Right. Yeah, because the pressure comes in all forms. And that's a big moment for a lot of guys. Like, that's their version of a bowl game or their Super Bowl. Can you rise to the top? And a lot of times coaches or scouts want to see these guys in that arena to see what RC said, how they, react or respond to their moment. So,
do you think you could respond if you was on that cocaine?
You know what?
Like Lamar Odom?
That Crowder powder?
Man, the Crowder powder is great on chicken, seafood,
not your nose.
tacos.
Not that powder.
But he did, Chad, he did say though, he said he had great cocaine summers. The man said he was not on that cane game time.
I just know the Lawrence Taylor stories. Have y'all read, I read LT's book, To the Edge, Over the Edge. Now, LT's my favorite player of all time. My understanding is you don't just snort cocaine for 2 months and then keep it, then just stop. Big Randy snorted powder. He played in the 70s. My understanding of his friends and stories I heard as a grown man, you don't have a two-window cocaine summer. I think it's maybe a little manufactured about the cocaine summer story. To be honest, I wasn't in the locker room. I didn't see him walk in, but I think that's a stretch for Lamar Odom to say that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a stretch. The same as guys popping pills and all this different things in their off season. I think it's possible to have cocaine summers and, have a little fun. And because the one thing, most guys would prefer to have cocaine summers than marijuana summers, because the marijuana, the weed, gonna stay in your system. Now you're gonna go back and fail a test as opposed to bumping a little powder. So I did my nose. Not that I do powder or ever have and never will.
Fred, are you making the case for being a cocaine addict right now?
No, I am not. Thank you for catching that. No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, you said he's a stretch. You might not believe it. I believe him. Definitely.
Somebody can snort coke for 8 weeks.
It doesn't have to
and
be 8
then
weeks.
stop for 40
It
I
doesn't
can't do
happen.
math
Who
this
said he
fast.
stopped? Who said he stopped?
He said he stopped. He said he do it during the summer
and never
then
snorted
not, but not.
another line the rest of the year.
That
Fred,
part
that's
might
unrealistic.
be a stretch. And maybe he's not. Maybe he didn't have an overly addictive personality. Maybe he could cut off.
He
That
told
part.
the world he was an addict the other day. Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear that, bro.
The thing about Lamar Odom is when I hear the stories he tells about what his life was like, he actually overachieved, right? And not based on his talent, because I think it was Rhode Island coming out of college, like Lamar Odom was the dude, right? A lefty. He was kind of the evolution, in my opinion, of like what Magic Johnson started, which got us to LeBron, right? Like Lamar Odom was a part of that. And so he didn't overachieve from a talent standpoint, but bro, if you have that sort of addiction, and he said it himself, if you have that sort of addiction, the time that you're supposed to be spending preparing to play your game is hindered, right? Because marijuana's probably the different one. Marijuana's like, I can smoke this after I work out and just play video games all day and eat, right? Cocaine and pills and all that, that goes along with partying. And partying affects your morning and how you eat and how you train and how you work. And when he tells this story, I know people are listening to it, and it is cool entertainment. It's crazy to hear about an excellent basketball player who had a cocaine addiction and played as long as he did. I see it as a tragedy. I see it as like a cautionary tale. Because think of what you could have been, right? And you're a competitor. There's no way he looks back at his career and doesn't say, what could I have been? Who could I have been if I wasn't dealing with that? Right? So like when I would tell a story, and he did say, like, I took years off my career. I didn't do certain things I was supposed to do. Like, that's how I would look at it, Freddie T.
So what you're saying is LT would be a different player if he didn't do
I'ma say
what
this.
LT did.
I'm gonna say this. They say that coke make you not feel something. John Jones beat DC on that cocaine, so I don't know.
I said I wasn't doing no coke. I'd be honest, it wasn't coke. I was drinking and enjoying life, but no cocaine was involved. But we've talked about it before, where if I didn't party as much, but I didn't go out every night, if I went to strip clubs, like I was a strip club guy, could I have played another year or two? Would I have made another tackle here or there? Like, I don't know. Retrospect, you
Yeah,
can't
we
say
don't
it.
know.
But in LT's book, he said he woke up leaving the strip club one morning from sleeping, going to sleep in the strip club, looked over at the stadium and said, what's going on over there? It was a Sunday. They came and got him, gave him an IV on the way to the stadium. He went out there and had like 11 tackles, 2 sacks. Could that have been 18 tackles, 3 sacks? Like, he was that good in the book. I don't know if those are exact numbers of the book, but it was something crazy like that where they used to know, hey, LT's not here yet. Bill Belichick told the story where Parcells, LT came late to a meeting, and Bill Belichick went back and told Parcells, hey, LT was late. He missed half the meeting. And Parcells said, so why'd you start the meeting without LT? Because he was that good. Yeah. So honestly, I don't think I could be as good as LT. I think he's the best defensive player ever to touch the field. Sorry, Coach Prime. But LT was that guy. But what did he do to his career? Because who was he on with? T-Mac and...
Yeah, T-Mac and Vince.
And he was saying, through all that stuff, through all the Kardashian stuff, I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I don't want to speculate. I'm also shooting a reality show. During a season, I get the 6th man of the year. Like, what could that have been if you weren't putting all those distractions, as we call them, in your mind? You gotta think about it. You gotta think about what could have happened.
And you win championships, and you're the 6th man of the year, and you play at an all-star level so often, and you play with some of the greatest players in the game, and so there is a fulfillment to your career, right? You are content. But I always say, like, I knew what I had the potential to be. And I feel like I got damn close to all of that because of the way I work, the way I focused on it. And which makes me very comfortable in retirement. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had a chance to be what he could have been, which is a Hall of Famer, honestly, how much I would question those decisions, that I made. And it's funny you mentioned the Kardashian thing. I saw this thing on social media, And I put it on thread, so I'll ask you. You're on a first date, whether it's dating app, blind date, set up from a friend, however you meet them. During the date, you start having conversations, and the woman tells you, we are not going on another date. We are not compatible. I don't feel like...
Verbally?
Verbally, tells you to your face. Being transparent, though, and honest. This is the last date for us. In the story, the guy sort of misrepresented some of the things he wanted. Like he said he was comfortable with kids. He tell her on the date he didn't want kids. So she's like, oh, this is our last date, I'm done. And he tells her, since you said it's our last date, let's split this bill. Is that fair or foul?
It's right. Fair or foul is right or wrong. It's right or wrong. Is this that people have a different opinion of that?
Splitting the bill is right?
We're having a date where we're trying to figure each other out if this is gonna be a relationship. You flat out tell me after 30 minutes, oh, this ain't working. Now this is a business meeting. Isn't it? You said something, sort of tweeted something about it, and I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was a whole different story. He told her, oh yeah, no, this ain't gonna work, we good.
She told him, yeah.
She told him that? This is a business meeting now. So I had the ginger ale, I had the crab legs. What you have with your fat ass over there? I'm just playing, but no, now it's a business meeting because this is not going to be anything. We're never gonna see each other again. Okay, we had dinner at the same table. That's all that happened. We were at the bar. We were at the bar together. You ate here and I ate there. You get your beer, I get mine. Ma'am, break it down. You know what we had.
Right. Yeah, I think the best part about that was that transparency and the honesty in it. She didn't, lead him on. And if he, like RC said, if he contradicted himself prior to the date and then while on the date and she felt some type of way, then yeah, she got out of it figuring maybe he'll continue to lie or contradict himself if we continue to move forward. With dating, I think it goes back to expectations, to begin with. When you go on a date, most times you go into it, probably 90% of dates are assumed that the guy is gonna pay for everything.
90?
Maybe. I don't know the numbers. I'm just saying.
100.
I don't know, because there are some women that say, no, let's just go on a date. I got me. You don't have to get me. I got me. And they go into it that way. But that's a small percentage, right? So leading into it, expectations is a big thing. I don't have a problem with him saying, look, let's split this bill. I wouldn't do it necessarily, but that's the way he felt. That's the way he felt. We're different. I wouldn't have done it because I can tolerate it. I mean, if we talking about $50, $60, come on, bro.
I agree,
Fred,
bro.
go give that food to the children that are hungry.
No, Chan.
Go give that food to
Chan,
the
if
children
we're-
that are
Chan,
hungry.
Chan.
You gonna feed for this
Bro,
mean
Chan,
mother?
if I
She could have kept
wash
that to
my hands.
herself.
Chan, if I invite a woman to dinner, I'm a single man, I invite a woman to dinner. During the dinner, we realize, or she realizes, she no longer wants to date me. She doesn't want a second date, right? And she's honest enough about that. To say it not in a mean way, not insulting, just be like, some of the things that I thought you valued in our conversations, you don't value. Those are important to me. I don't see a need to continue to lead you on, make you think it's gonna be something else. To me, what I say at that point is, I agree with you. This is no longer a date, right? Because a date means, because I'm paying for this food, because it could lead to another opportunity to get to know you.
Yes.
But on that date, I don't ask her to split the bill. Now, would I pay it, shake her hand, say nice to meet you, and get out? Yeah, because there's no more reason for us to have conversation if you already told me that we ain't dating no more, because we wasn't never friends, right? We got into this to see if we was gonna be something more than friends. Now that I know we ain't gonna be something more than friends, we for sure ain't cool. But Chan, you can't make her pay the bill.
Why we friends now?
No, we not friends.
When we sit down, hey man, you got it, and we'll pick it up because that's what men do. Be like, nah, I got this one, you got the last one, da da da. If you're sitting with anybody, woman, man, anything, and there's nothing that's gonna happen more in this relationship, it's like sitting with your boys. And if we just met yesterday and we sit down and there's nothing more that's coming of this, You don't even want to see me no more. Like you said, we're not friends. I don't even know you. What's your middle name? Oh, Marilyn. Okay, thank you. Now this is two friends sitting down eating. You pay for your food, I'm pay for my food. Let's watch let's watch the basketball game, Fred.
And that's the way you think.
No, that's
I'm
the way
sure
it is.
you've done business meetings where you've met whomever, a person for a potential business opportunity, and you've covered the check. Simply
Put it on the business card because now it's going towards something.
Yeah,
Fred,
you still covered the check.
I'm never gonna see this
when
person.
he could have easily said, I'll take my salad and my steak, and you get your burger and your salad, and we split this. This business, he want to take his expense too, possibly, or he might even cover it.
But Fred,
it's petty. It's
but
a
that
small
could be something.
sense of
That could
comfort.
be something.
Okay.
On
It's a
Wednesday or
small sense
Thursday.
of comfort.
This is nothing. It becomes we're sitting across. Trying to get to know each other, right? So that's what a date is, right? You're getting to know each other.
So in your mind, I'm not paying for today's interaction. I'm actually paying for the next interaction.
The day two that she said, I don't want. We're together sitting across from each other, right? I pay for the date. I'm the man. I asked you out. Hey, I thought you were different than what is it? Your filter. I see the filter thing now. Yeah. They had the filter on them, the skinny filter, and they come and they don't have the skinny filter.
Like I said, you had a afro on your profile, and now you bald.
Now you bald. I don't like bald men. Like, this ain't gonna work out. You misrepresented yourself. Now we're sitting next to each other.
Now y'all not face to face no more. Y'all watching the TV.
I said, let's watch the basketball game. You like the Heat? Yeah, boy, Bam balling, boy. Bam will get him 17 tonight, 17-10.
So let me progress this question. Say you are a single man of means, right? And a woman says, if you want me to be with you and be with you exclusively, I need $45,000 to $50,000 a month in order to do that. You don't want me to work. You want me to just be here with you, be here exclusively. I need $45,000 to $50,000. Or they say, if you want to date me, you got to be worth $100 million.
This couldn't have happened in real life.
This is things that were said last week.
What did she bring to the table for 40 racks a month? Friendship? Bitch, I got a dog. $40,000 a month.
50 G's.
50 racks a month just to say I'm with you.
So we're exclusive.
And you're not cleaning the roof, managing the portfolio, I don't know, hell, mopping the pool, getting the fishing bait, nothing.
You're his woman.
I'm paying you just to stare at you.
I'm sure to do other things as well.
Yeah, there's some good women in the... That's nuts.
Yeah, no, that's, what is it? Social media economics. People are crazy. They just pull numbers out of the air. $50,000 a month just for you is insane. That's ridiculous.
What?
No, I'm saying I don't agree with that. $50,000 a month is ridiculous. What's that? $600,000 a year?
$600,000 a year.
After taxes? That's even more insane.
Meal.
Some people want a spouse, and some people want a sponsor. And to want $50,000 a month is more on the sponsorship piece. So you can do the airplanes and the private jets, and that's just bananas. But again, that's the downside or the bad part of social media. Because a lot of times people see this and think, I need that. With $50,000 a month, you don't need $50,000. What are you gonna do with $50,000 a month?
Get out of that Toyota Paseo that I met you in.
But what are you gonna do with $50,000 a month?
Waste it up.
That's broke people talk. Honestly, that's broke people who ain't never really had nothing type of talk. Because once people really get something, people with a lot of money don't, unless they necessarily really have to, homes and stuff, you're not gonna just go out and just spend $50K a month. That's ridiculous.
I think, one, these microphones are getting a lot of people in trouble. People say stupid things when they get on these microphones. That's the first part. $600,000 a year so you could be with me is ridiculous. The other piece of it is, too, if you are walking into the relationship saying you need $50,000 a month, that means in some way I've already earned it without you. I built this life without your support, without your help, without your sacrifice, without your time. And just because God made you, you're supposed to get this money. That's not how it works. That's called prostitution. Right? And the crazy part about it is, yes, in my relationship with my wife, if there's a big purchase, will she ask me, hey, is this okay? Yes. Most times I'm saying yes anyway, because I know you're not going to put the family in peril based on your purchases, right? But that's because when I was 17 and I walked into Monsanto Park, you was 16 and you ain't have nothing and I ain't have nothing.
No.
That's not the conversations we're talking about. And Dr. Cheyenne Bryant said the other day that men are looking for relationships in marriage, but women are looking more at monetary value and money and building. And that's crazy to me that the whole dynamic has shifted from a let's be something together to what can I profit or gain from being with you? Relationships are now just partnerships where we get to have fun and have sex sometimes. You know, like, and I don't believe that's the whole for everybody.
No.
Right? I do think as women get older and are searching for a partner, their priorities change, right? They see things different ways. They want to be taken care of in a different way, where it was loyalty, trust, honesty, discipline, hardworking, faithful, right? Well, it was those things. Now that list switch and it's like, yeah, you can be those things too, but even if you those things, I need this level of comfort in my life. Yeah. I think that's difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's unconditional and conditional love. There's a lot more condition. We just talked about it with the dinner. We all agree on it, and the world agrees on it. If a man asks a woman to eat, vice versa, we just see each other and we sit at the same table. What's supposed to happen? The man's supposed to pay for it. He's supposed to. You just said a small percent of women might say, no, I ate this food, I'm paying for it, respectfully. But it's gonna be assumed that the man is gonna pay for that.
That's what I said. And that's what
it's society. It's really gender roles.
Right.
But people don't like gender roles until they benefit them.
And man, you know, we did all the social media stuff in this show. I'm on the plane this morning, get off the plane, you know, I get a DM, and it's a 2020 video of me sitting in my house during COVID, me and Dominique talking about Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. And I was wrong, right? I said at that point, Kyler was leading the MVP conversation. They asked me to pick a side. I picked a side.
What year was it?
This is 2020. I picked a more fun side, a side that was more difficult to prove. But at the time, it was a sound argument. Yeah. It is less sound now that Kyler Murray has been released. It's less sound than it was initially.
Yeah.
What do you think about my take?
It's so funny. Terrible take. we sit here today, terrible take, because Lamar done won and won. Yeah. And Kyler now got released, and he's the size of a Tic Tac box. Yeah, so terrible take. Lamar got him one, and Kyler's not there. What about the Jamarcus Russells? What about the Deion Jordans? What about the Ryan Leafs? What about the guys that you're talking about it? They're paid to evaluate people, and they're wrong on them. So I did laugh, and your hair was different. You had that little sponge fro.
Hey. COVID, dog. I wasn't going to the barber like talking about.
I didn't even see what the caption said. I saw your sponge fro, and I was like, look at I see with the sponge fro.
Bro.
But man, you have to make takes every single day. It's dudes that have 365 days to evaluate a draft to mess up. So I give you a pass. Yeah. And I know Nika give you a pass.
It's crazy that they pull the receipts. We just need a segment called Ryan's Receipt. Because there's so much out there, right? You can be either way. It can go either way. But just looking at this really quick, RC, I can probably see why you felt that way. 2020, Kyler Murray almost had 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. And Lamar only had 2,700 yard passing. That's a 1,300 yard difference. So I can see if we're saying they're trending in this direction. So it only makes sense. But Kyler Murray's had a huge fall off. since 2021. The injuries, the lack of production, all that different stuff. And it seems that since he got paid in 22, he just disappeared. He tried to fight back, but even last year, for Jacoby Brissett to come back and have a better season in 1 year than Kyler has had in 7 years there is kind of crazy. So rightfully, from a business standpoint, it's only right that the Cardinals make the move that they're making, which I believe is the right move.
Quickly, give Kyler Murray, Derrick Henry, put Lamar Jackson in Arizona with multiple coaches. What happens?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. First off, people keep posting the video about what I said about taking Kyler over Lamar in 2020. Like I said that yesterday. It's on like all these news sites. Woo, 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 woo. If I said it yesterday, dummies, clearly I'm stupider than I look. And I'm sure I look stupid some damn time. Bro, at that time, Kyler was leading in the MVP conversation in the middle of the season. Lamar wasn't having his best year. And I was like, man, I think Kyler can continue to progress and become this past year with Cliff Kingsbury. I was wrong. So effing what? Y'all posted like I just said it, which is cool because it lets me know I'm on your mind. I ain't been to work in 3 weeks, but we want to post that. Good for damn you. Hope it brings you a lot of engagement, right? Because most of your little profiles, I don't even know. I don't even know them. And the dude sent it to me and he DM'd me and he was like, bro, he actually told me, he was like, I just like to send this to you from time to time. I think it's funny. And I was like, I think it's sad. I'm gonna go continue my day. The thing is now for Kyler though, what you gonna do next, bro? What you gonna do now, right? People didn't want to draft you and they talked about it being a risky draft pick because of your size. But you had a guy who was supposed to be your guy. Then you've had another guy. And now they're getting rid of you as they get a new coach. What are you gonna do? But as far as my take, hell, I stand on it. I had to pick a side, I picked a side. Such is life.
Your take is your take, man. You have a lot of beautiful takes, bro. And people don't realize what you've said about Lamar Jackson since then. But the answer is, Kyler is making $37 million on his day off.
You know what Tua's making this year? 54, $99 million cap hit. They just throw him money. Daniel Jones, 37. Transition tag or something.
Stupid money's getting thrown around right now. It seems like a weak quarterback class. Everybody trying to find Sam Darnold, fellas. I'm telling you, because who is it? It's Malik Willis, it's Tua, it's Kyler. They don't impress me. Everybody's looking for the next Sam Darnold. I don't know if you can find the next Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Well, that's been a Pivot Friday. Just know you big dummies. I said that 6 years ago. Just saying.
With the sponge, bro.
Still is wrong.
Hold up, limitless, take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision I can trust. Limitless, take a stomach, got a pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.